pigmentation again, darkness under her eyes, even out her skin tone, improve the glow. So we'll start with glow first. And your Pep Up, it's a water-based product. It likes a wet finish.
It's my son.
And so we'll apply it wet. This is giving her that heightened glow that she's wanting. So really important that she see this before you put primer on top of it. So 10 peptides, hyaluronic acid, color, glow, all the things you want to become part of how your mineral looks. You can just maybe even hold that downward. That's great. Thank you. So she's concerned with pigmentation. I'm going to show another option would be the mattifying primer, which is wonderful, again, for pigmentation issues, but even a little bit more deep in color. So if the client likes that really sun-kissed look, it's a great option to go a step deeper with your primer to really keep that sun-kissed look all the time. So like we've talked about, you can do it in sections or just do that largish pearl size on the fingertip, move it just a bit, and apply it. So she can do this in her car if she needs to. Of course, any of the primers are introducing either an SPF 20 or an SPF 30 immediately. And it's physical from zinc and titanium, so it stays constant. So she is shielded as she's visually perfected. At this point, she could choose her foundation options. She could go with loose combined with pressed. She could go to the corrector kit. She could do lots of options. But I find that loose plus detail with pressed is a great approach. And so let's go to a loose foundation in a shade called Not Too Deep. And let's take a look at this on her neck. The key with foundation is what is it actually doing when it's going on the skin? Is it making them look smoother? Is it making them look muddy? Is it making them look chalky? People always talk about being lacking confidence choosing foundation. To me, it's that criteria. Choose a tone. California Girl is a great place to start. It's right in the middle of the spectrum. And you can see how it looks on their neck, because the neck obviously brings the face and the body together. And the décolleté, the neck and the face, many times are not the same color. So if we just match to her face, we're making her face even less like the rest of her body. So if we match to the neck, we never need to apply below the jawline. So Not Too Deep looks, I think, smooth and healthy on her, so we'll work with that one. The brushes, once you've primed them, also, they tend to hold quite a bit of color. So when you first pick one up, I recommend starting with the brush up and finding out how much is in the brush. And then if it's not giving you enough, then of course turn it down and you'll get more product flowing. But find out how much it has first. So it's things like that to pass on to the client so they really have a great experience with Colorescience. And we're doing those circles that mesh. And then she can detail either with a pressed compact or the corrector kit. I love the versatility of the kit option, so we'll show you that again. We'll go to our corrector palette, and we can see that this middle family is again going to be great for her. So we'll detail. We could also use, it's a big enough area, you could use your firm version of your retractable. Could also work with it that way, pressing and rocking. So either way, the key is to get the coverage fast and easily. It's about staying on the skin once you make contact. This is about making it sheer. Do that first. So then she mentioned that under eye was an issue. So we'll go to the lighter tones in the palette, not the very lightest, but we'll slide up to those next two. The very lightest ivory will make a great brow bone highlight for her. Or she could use that as a neutral eyeshadow base. So anywhere where she's seeing shadows, she's pressing that mineral. And of course we have that texture that her primer and her pep-up serum has created first, so she'll never look dry. It's not going to collect or crease because she's pre-perfected. Around the nasolabial is great. Around the mouth. Just any of those areas that bother you on a given day. So she's evened out her skin significantly with those 3 steps. Her glow phase from her serum, her primer to set the stage, and then her loose for all over, and her pressed for detail. And she can go to her ivory, and she can create that bright tone on the lid and the brow bone. Close your eyes for me for a moment. Thank you. You can also highlight her cheekbone with the ivory because we're going to contour underneath with the very darkest color. So we'll go back to our brush and we'll press and slide under the bone. Right about there is great, thanks. Really bringing out that shape with this rosy, deeper nude color. And then she's ready for blush on the top of the cheek. So she could choose something loose for that. We also, of course, have the blushes that are self-dispensing. And let's go with a color called Apple. So again, with your brushes, this one's new, so we'll prime it. The band comes off. Tight circles on the wrist. So that cloud comes off the brush. Get that cloud really going. And we're primed and ready to roll. So we'll hold the brush upward first. And we want a little bit more color, so we'll turn it down. You can close your eye lightly if you'd like, that's great. So we're coming all the way across that crest of the bone because we've already contoured underneath. So this is about brightness and about flush, it's not about structure. So I find you really can't do a dimensional cheek with just one product. You need that element of brightness and you need that element of structure. So you can finish in the front of the cheek with a little bit more flush. I find the lids are a great place to blush just a bit. Top of the forehead. And then she can finish with simple color. And for her color palette, we'll show you one of the shadow quads in a combination that I really like for blondes with blue eyes called the Enchanted Earth palette. And the palettes are designed to be made into a smoky neutral or used separately for more tangible, brighter color. So I always like to show the client the smoky approach first because it's the easiest and the fastest and it's not what they're expecting. So just like with our last model, we prepped her lid with a little bit of the Pep Up serum to create a shadow magnet. Just a tiny bit. And then we'll go to her Earth Elements trio, quad, and we'll use the bronze, the moss, and the plum. Complete opposites. We're going to roll across those, all 3. This combination, each one cancels out the other, and it becomes neutral, smoky contour. Just close your eyes again. So we're going to press and roll until we're happy with the level of deposit. But this way we're not getting any spill. We're directing exactly where we want the color to go. And then next she could use this as eyeliner using her plum only. So she's created that depth, and it looks smooth, and it's related to her skin. So we'll go to the plum, detail angle brush, load it generously. Go to your mist, whichever you've recommended for her. Make it wet. Tilt back just a bit for me and close lightly. And we'll press that plum into her lash ridge, starting in the outer corner. To give her that saturated, filled-in lash. Look straight ahead. And then we'll go under the eye. We'll combine our plum and our bronze by mixing your bronze, of course, with your plum. Again, you're canceling, so you get this neutral smoke. But you get a more rich, varied smoke tone by using color to create your neutrals versus just going straight to brown and gray. So we're keeping it really wide in the outer corner, so we're opening her lower lid, and we're coming in just past the iris. And then we'll go to our ivory, that brightest ivory, and we'll do a spotlight in the center of her lid. Just close lightly for me, which will bring her iris forward. And we'll also highlight her brow bone. On her brows, we'll fill in with our brow trio, which is designed for all eyebrows. So what you do is simply reverse how you load your brush. If you're a brunette, you load dark to light, because even dark brows need that golden highlight in them to make them look real. If you're a blonde, you load gold to charcoal, because even blondes need some depth in their brows. And then for redheads, the two opposite taupes, the gray taupe and the gold taupe combined, create a great sort of a tawny tone that looks really very natural on redheads. And then she can use her charcoal as eyeliner versus using it on her brows. If she has silver hair, she can use the gray taupe and the charcoal. It makes a great platinum color that looks very natural on silver or white-haired clients. So there isn't any client you can't do this palette with. So our model obviously has a natural, blondish tone to her brows and her hair, so we want to keep that. So we'll load gray to charcoal, just 1, 2, 3. Everything in Colorescience really, I think, is accurate to describe as a concentrate. You need very, very little of it. I like to wet the brow color, gives more structure. We'll work against the hair just a bit. Kind of sketching. She's got that nice defined outer corner. And then she's ready for mascara. With the mascara, because of its lengthening and thickening effect, and it has what I would call a kind of a contracting action as it dries, so it really helps hold a curl in the lash. So I always like to start in the outer corner of the eye, look downward just a bit more for me, blink when you need to, and really focus on creating that fan or that fringe in that outer corner first, which shows off that part of the eye and the eyelash. And so as you move inward, when you have less mascara on the brush, you get some definition, but your target is definitely those outer lashes. And I find for most people, it's more flattering to actually not do any mascara on the lower lashes. It allows your upper lashes to be that much more dramatic. It just has a more glamorous quality. So I've given her a nice fringe on her lashes. And then she can go back to her quad, and she can use some lip shine. And also do a nude lip tone with the bronze and the plum from the same palette. So loading both together, adding lip shine. Part just a bit for me, that's great. And then smoothing that on for a great sort of a coppery, plummy lip tone that will also bring out her eye color. So then her last step would be to set her mineral, and we used her blue, but we'll do the hydrating instead. Hold this for a moment. Tilt back just a bit for me. So hold it about 12 inches, do a few circles, let it truly mist on them. If they jump when you mist them, you're holding it way too close. So lots of health, definition, smoothness, a look that would work for her all the time.